Hi friends, in today's Vata balancing class, we are going to be focusing on focus. So just a reminder that Vata is the Ayurvedic archetype that is comprised of air and space. So when we are comprised of too much air in space, or there's too much air and space within our environment, we can feel easily distracted or we can feel anxious. So today we're going to focus again on focus, or finding what is called a dristi. So dristi is a Sanskrit word that essentially means focal point, right? It's where we shift our mind. It is where we shift our gaze. So we will find our dristi through our breath, through our movement, and through our shapes to see if we can stay present with ourselves and our practice. So to get started, I'm going to have you start on your back side in Supta Baddha Konasana, allowing the soles of the feet to connect, let the knees splay open. And if you need support, you can always slide a prop underneath the knees or the legs. And then you're going to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And as long as it feels safe, you're going to close your eyes in this space and begin to connect to that flow of your breath. As you find that connection to your breath, can you let your mind begin to follow the pace of your breath? Right, using this as the very first tool in your practice today to become a little more present and aware. You know, that second tool that you can tap into here is just setting yourself an intention. And so this is more of our mental dristi, our mental focal point. So it doesn't have to be a big long sentence or idea. Let it be simple. So let it be a word, maybe even a color or an image. Something that your mind can easily connect to when it does begin to wander. Once you have your breath, you have that intention or that internal dristi. You're going to use an in-breath to bring the soles of your feet to the earth. And then with an exhale, draw your knees into your belly, bring your hands to the tops of your knees and just begin to circle them. Right? Massaging out all four corners of your lower back. Right? So in this practice, we're not only going to focus on our focus or our dristi, right, creating more concentration, but we'll also get into those areas of the body where Vata tends to congregate, such as the lower back, the hips, and the joints. Just let yourself take a few more circles in each direction here. When you're ready, you're going to let your knees draw back in towards your chest. You're going to bring the sole of your left foot to the earth and then cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Flex your right foot as you push the knee away. Take a moment to assess the situation here. So becoming present or aware of how that right hip feels. You can keep the left foot rooted or draw that left knee in towards your chest, or you can just let it hover. Or you can use the hands for assist. But if you are using the hands for an assist, make sure you're not creating any unnecessary tension. So refrain from yanking. See if you can soften through your shoulders and your face. And then use your breath to create a little more space in that right hip. Take another breath here. And allow that left foot to come to the earth. Extend your right leg up to the sky, interlacing your hands around the back of the right leg. Flex your right toes towards your nose. And again, don't yank, don't pull. Maybe even bend that right knee a little deeper to protect the joint. And then let the flow of your breath create a little more space in the back of your right leg. And notice as you flex the foot, right, you're going to feel a little more length, a little more sensation shift into that leg. Keep that foot flex. Keep that leg long. With an exhale, you're going to very mindfully release your right leg all the way to the earth. Your heel will connect. And as that heel connects to the earth, you're going to start to feel an awakening through the front of the hip. Keep that leg active. And then draw your left knee in towards your chest, interlacing your hands around your shin. Again, without yanking or pulling, keep the heart open. Let a few of those ujjayi breaths move into the lower back, into the hip and psoas. With your breath, bring your right foot to the earth. With an exhale, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex that foot, push the knee away. Assess the situation here. So you can keep the foot rooted, draw it in. Maybe you hold on with the hands. Maintaining that softness where you can, ensuring that you're not creating any unnecessary tension. And if the mind is wandering, we've got two tools we're using already. We've got the breath that you can come back to. You've got that internal dristi or intention. You pull that right knee in. Let an exhale, bring that right foot to the earth. And then lengthen that left leg up to the sky, interlacing your hands around the back of the leg. Flex your toes towards your nose. Keep your heart open. And another way we can stay present or focused, right, especially in our yoga practice, is really paying attention to each side of our body, right? Not just doing the same on the other side because we think we should, but really assessing the situation, right, and doing what is needed to honor this side of the body, even if it's a little different than the opposite. You're going to keep that foot flexed, that leg extended. Slowly lower that left leg all the way to the earth. That heel will land and start to feel that opening through the front of the hip. And then you'll draw your right knee in. As you draw it in, just use the weight of your hands to drop that knee into your belly and your chest. Keep the shoulders rolling back. Take one more inhale here. With an exhale, pull the left knee in to meet the right. And then extend both legs up to the sky. Flex both of your toes towards your nose. And then you can drop your hands alongside your body. You can tuck your hands under your lower back, or you could even extend your arms out to a T shape. You're going to move through some leg lifts, so whatever feels the most supportive to your lower back. Right? Hone in on that energy in your core. And with an in-breath, lower your right leg to a hover, whether it's 15 degrees or maybe it's just a couple inches off the mat. And then exhale to draw that leg back up. Inhale to lower the left leg to a hover. And then exhale to draw it up. Now you're going to move a couple more times with your breath, using this gentle movement to create a little more strength in the core, and then also to awaken the hip flexors and the psoas, right? And especially if you sit at a desk a lot, right, this is going to help create a little more space in the lower back, give you a little more mobility. And then as we move into our peak pose today, this is what's going to really help us find that shape, and then also help us find that presence in our shape, or that concentration. Continue to follow your breath. You're going to just take 2 more leg lifts on each side. And there's no rush. Continue to find that connection to the earth. And once that left leg lifts back up to the sky for that final round, you'll then drop your knees into your chest, and you can bring your hands to your shins, or you can tuck them under your knees. You're going to rock up and down the length of the spine. Now, if this doesn't feel okay, you can just rock side to side. Right? Use the momentum of your rock to come to your seat, and then you're going to come to tabletop. So if you want, you can cross the ankles, roll over them, and find your way to that shape, or any other way you need to get there. Now, once you arrive, stack your joints, spread the fingers, let there be a little buoyancy in the elbows. Find your breath if you lost it in that transition, right? That fluid movement of your Ujjayi breath, inhaling through your nose and HA exhaling through your nose. And then let that breath guide you in and out of your cow and your cat. Inhales, lift your heart and your gaze. Exhales to round out the spine. Again, moving with your breath, continuing to ground through the hands and the tops of your feet. And we just did a lot with the lower extremities. So now use this movement to awaken the upper body. Finding a little more space in the spine, the shoulders. Take 2 more rounds. Your breath leads the way. Again, there's no sense of urgency. We're using that slower movement, that support and stability of the earth to stay present and to stay focused. That third in breath will bring you back to a neutral spine. And as you arrive, you're going to bring the big toes to connect. Take your knees wide. Anchor down through your left hand. With an in-breath, extend your right arm out to a T shape. Now assess the situation here. And then slowly start to draw that right arm up. And it doesn't have to reach all the way to the sky. Right? Find where you need to land. Palm faces away from the body. Lift away from the earth. You're going to take another in-breath here, and then with an exhale, thread the needle, bringing your right shoulder to the earth. You can bring your temple or your forehead down, and then extend your left hand to the top of your mat. Let your body become just a little more passive here. Creating more space in your right shoulder and your upper back. Let's pull that left hand back under the shoulder, press into the earth, inhale nice and easy, lift all the way up, re-extending that right arm, maybe your gaze follows. Exhale, drop your hand and your gaze to the earth. Right hand roots, inhale, extend your left arm out, assess the situation. And then take your sweet time, reaching that left arm up. It might feel a little different on this side. Honor where your shoulder is at. Use the support of the earth to maybe create just a little more space. One more inhale. And then exhale, thread the needle on this side, drawing the left shoulder and then your temple or forehead down and extending that right arm forward. Let yourself become a little more passive. Breathe into your shoulder and your upper back. Now slide that right hand back, press into the earth. Inhale to lift up, re-extending your left arm. Exhale, hand and gaze, come to the earth. And you're going to stack your joints, so bringing knees back under hips. As you do, you're going to bring your forearms to the earth. Let your fingertips either face forward, or you can interlace your fingers and root down through the outer edges of your hands. So find that sweet spot for your hands and your arms, and then step one foot back at a time to your dolphin plank. Now, often when we first step back to that pose, if you take a look at me for a moment, you have a little bit of a bubble butt. So you're just going to want to roll forward, shoulders come over elbows. You're going to shift your gaze beyond your hands, and this is where we tap into that external drishti. So maybe find a little spot on the floor or on your mat to focus your attention. Right, so you're not creating any unnecessary tension in the body as you breathe into these sensations, right? We're bringing in more of that fire element. So maybe see where you can soften just a little bit. Honing in on that engagement of the chest, the low belly, and the quads. One more in-breath. And then exhale, lower your hips, your legs, and your feet. If you interlace the fingers, you'll release them. Fingertips face forward, elbows are under shoulders. So lower back feels like it needs a little more space. Take your feet as wide as your mat, and then inhale, lift through your heart. Pull your shoulders back and away from your ears. Feel the forearms, palms, pelvis, legs, and feet connect to the earth. Again, you can find a drishti here, a little spot on the floor to help you stay present. And then exhale, you're going to roll down. You're going to slide your hands next to your ribs. Press back to child's pose. Hips fall back toward heels. Give yourself a breath in this shape. With an in-breath, you're going to come to hands and knees. Stack the joints. Use that exhale to ground. Inhale, extend your right leg behind you. Now with an exhale, take your knee to your nose. Hold here, really honing in on that energy of the core. With your next exhale, bring your right foot between your hands. And just make sure you can see your toes past your knee. Hug your upper and your thighs together. Inhale to a low lunge. Now as the arms reach over the head, the palms are going to connect. You're going to really engage that low belly. Lift up from the pelvic floor. And then you're going to bring your thumbs to the base of your skull. Feel that opening through the shoulders. Right, and you can find your drishti, that focal point directly in front of you, or maybe you shift your gaze up. If you find that you're taking a little more of a back bend here, make sure you're not bending from the low back, but rather your bra line. So you have more lift and length than the action of leaning back. Relax through those front toes. Give this shape a couple more breaths. With an in-breath, you'll draw the arms up. Shift your gaze forward if it was looking upward. Exhale, hands to the earth. Lift your back leg off the mat and then step to the top of your mat. Release into Uttanasana, your forward fold. Continue to honor the back body, so specifically the hips, low back. Right, your joints, so maybe bend the knees a little deeper. You'll ground through all four corners of your feet, and if you like, maybe grab those opposite elbows. Your breath flow through the backside of your body. With an exhale, let go. Hands drop to the earth. Inhale, stand all the way up, reaching your arms over your head. Allow your hips to square forward. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Let your palms face away from your body. Inhale, rotate through center, arms up. Exhale, twist to your left. Keep holding that right hip back. Inhale, come up through center, palms connect. Exhale, trace your midline and fold to the earth. Now with an in-breath, lengthen your spine. And with an exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back to down dog. Right, first one of this practice. Lift those hips up. Maybe you get those heels a little closer to the earth, really using this shape to create more space. Maybe a little more length in the spine. And exhale, you're going to bring your knees to the earth. You're going to restack your joints. And with an in-breath, extend your left leg behind you. Exhale, knee to nose, hold here, really fire up your core. And with your next exhale, bring that left foot between the hands. With an in-breath, draw your arms up to the sky, allow your palms to connect. Look for that length, and then thumbs come to the base of the skull. You'll shift your gaze up. Find your drishti, your focal point. Next in-breath, re-extend your arms, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, hands to the earth. Lift your back leg. Step to the top of your mat and release into your fold. Anchor down through all four corners of your feet, and then inhale, root to rise, reaching the arms up and over your head. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Hold that left hip back. Inhale, come through center, drawing the arms up. Exhale, open arm twist to your left. Hold that right hip back. Inhale, come back through center, both arms up to the sky. Exhale, trace your midline and fold to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to down dog. Lift those hips, melt the heart down. Take a breath here. And then drop your knees back to the earth. And let your forearms follow your knees. So again, the fingertips can face forward, or you can interlace your fingers. You're going to step one foot back at a time, returning to that dolphin plank, shoulders glide over wrists. Shift your gaze just beyond your hands. Find your external drishti, that focal point. Can you soften just a little more here, right? Refraining from creating any unnecessary tension. Come back to your core, right? All of that energy we brought into that space of the body. And with an in-breath, walk your toes up to your belly to lift the hips. Continue to hug the arms in to your full dolphin pose. Now pull in a little more of that earth element here by grounding down through either your palms or the outer edges of your hands, as well as your forearms, so that you can lift away. Maybe lift the hips a little higher. Melt the heart down just a bit more. Take another in-breath here. And then exhale, you're going to bring your knees to the earth. Release your feet, and you'll roll up to your seat. And then exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to the earth. With an in-breath, you're going to extend your right leg behind you again. I find that even weight distribution through your hands. Tuck your left toes under. And then lift up to a three-legged dog. Peel your hip open at the top. Right heel falls toward your left glute. Relax your head and your neck. With an in-breath, re-extend that right leg, level out your hips. Exhale, knee to nose. Engaging your core, hold for an in-breath. And then bring that right foot between the hands. Now, if you feel like you need a little more grounding energy, that left knee can come down again. Otherwise, you're going to keep it lifted. Find your drishti, your focal point, as you lift up to your lunge. Palms connect over the head. And then exhale, thumbs come to the base of the skull. So either your drishti, that focal point, stays in front of you, or maybe you shift it up to the ceiling for a little extra challenge. Soften through those front toes. And then inhale, re-extend your arms. Maybe you reshift where your drishti is at. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Palms face away from the body. Right arm is reaching back, left arm forward. Inhale, come through center, draw both arms up. Right? Refocusing your gaze. And then bring your hands to the earth. Step to the top of your mat, and as you release into your fold, you're going to adjust your stance as needed. So feet can be together, hip distance apart. You'll bend your knees, lower your hips, and you'll Utkatasana chair pose. Inhale, stand all the way up, palms connect. Exhale, trace your midline, fold to the earth. You're going to carefully bend your knees and bring your bottom all the way to the earth. And then you'll roll all the way down to your backside. You can pull your knees back into your chest. And then release one leg at a time, coming all the way into your Shavasana. Final resting pose. Let the body take up space and be supported. See if you can continue to use those tools we use in our practice today to stay present, to stay focused. Know that you can take these tools off of your mat with you as well.